It might be a little windy on the camera, but it feels good to me. We're down here at Kawaguchiko Lake, which is one of the 5 lakes in the Fuji 5 lakes area. Fuji's over here to the left of the lake, and we're gonna walk up the lake a little bit. They said there's a park past that bridge, so we'll follow the trail to the park, sort of check this area out, and then there's a ropeway that goes up to one of the mountains. Nope, those are power lines. There's a ropeway that goes up to one of the mountains that gives you a good view of Mount Fuji. I am still doing a little research on, where's the trail here? I don't think it's over there. I'm still doing a little research on how I'm going to do Mount Fuji itself. So according to what I've seen so far, the bus takes you to the 5th station, and obviously the summit is the 10th station, and the bus takes you to the 5th station, and then you can't really get any transport after that, so you're hiking. And after the 5th station, once you go above the 5th station, you need, so Mount Fuji Panoramic Ropeway is kind of like over there. So maybe those aren't power lines. Maybe that is the ropeway. So today my plan is to walk along the lake a little bit, sort of check things out. Let's see what that is down there. It's a dock. Oh, it's where you rent these swan boats. I'm not really interested in doing that, to be honest. So my plan right now is to walk around the lake a little bit, maybe ride that ropeway up to the top so I can check out a really cool view of Mount Fuji. You can see Mount Fuji, it's just a tad bit hazy, so I'm feeling lucky that I can see it, because they say you can only see it 100 days a year, so that's cool. And I kind of thought this trail, let's make sure I'm actually on it, not just on the sidewalk. This is not making sense to me, because I'm definitely walking towards the bridge, but the GPS kind of says I'm not. Actually, the GPS says I'm not moving at all, so I wonder what's up with that. Yeah, it says I'm going the opposite way. I wonder if this thing broke. It's kind of not what I was expecting. I was expecting to be walking along the lake. All right, that looks a little bit more right. It says I'm on the trail, which, if this is just walking along the sidewalk next to the lake, we'll go check out that park and then go check out the roadway, or the ropeway. I did see a guy selling some pretty awesome looking hamburgers, cheeseburgers, out of a truck on my way down here, because my hotel's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles away from this. I don't want to walk all the way around the lake, well, especially if it's gonna be all sidewalk like this, and like not near the lake. But we'll see if that changes in a little bit. But I don't want to walk all the way around the lake because it's 11 miles to do that, and that's not really, if I'm going to try to hike Mount Fuji tomorrow, which is kind of my plan. Doing 11 miles today and wiping myself out, not that, yeah, 11 miles would get me pretty tired. Yeah, let's check out this little, oh, there was a little trail right there. So let's check out this little trail. So doing 11 miles today is probably not a good idea. So we're not gonna do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still gonna walk around and check some things out. But so we'll do this and then check out that ropeway, and then maybe get some lunch, and then take the bus to there's like an amusement park that I can see from my apartment here. And so we'll check out that amusement park, and this is a little bit more overgrown than I was in the mood for, but that's okay. So we'll check out that amusement park. They say it's free to enter, so I'm betting there's like some good food there. Not that I haven't had good food in town. So just some different things to see. So it's free to enter. I guess you just pay per attraction you want to take part in. So we'll do that. And then I think it's either tonight or tomorrow night there's going to be fireworks at this lake. So we want to check that out too. And then of course I do have to go back. Look at all these I was going to call them fireflies, but they're dragonflies or damselflies. There's a ton of them. Look, it's like a swarm. So I don't know if that's going to show up on camera. So I also have to go back to the apartment at some point and sort of try to make a reservation and plan out my plan of action for Mount Fuji itself. I said I was going to try to do it, so I am. But they say from the 5th station to the summit, and this is kind of like what I want to be walking along. This is more like that, and that is the ropeway up there. So we'll do that in a little bit. But they say from the 5th station to the summit is a 6-hour hike, and as much as I like hiking, you know, let's say I start at, let's say I start early and I get out of the apartment by 8. All right, it's a 2-hour bus ride to the 5th station, so that puts me there at 10. See me listen. And then if I start right at 10, which I probably won't, right? So we'll say 10:30. What's the best way to traverse this? Ooh. Oh. Oh, yes. That's not attached all the way, huh? Oh, yeah. Wow. Gave them a little scare. One point of that little deck thing isn't attached to the other deck. Well, maybe that's why you shouldn't be laying in the middle of what's the walkway, but that's neither here nor there. So if I if I leave, if I get there at 10, let's say 10:30, and I do 6 hours, that's 4:30. But I'm on top of the mountain at 4:30, at the top of the mountain. So if, you know, obviously coming down is going to be a little bit shorter, so let's call that 5 hours. That puts me getting back at the 5th station at 9:30, which will, you know, mean that I had been walking 2 hours in the dark, which I have my headlamp, so that wouldn't be terrible, but I want to avoid hiking in the dark if I can. I have been avoiding it this whole time and been successful. So I want to find, they call them huts. There's little places. Oh, you know, I might not be actually on a trail here, because it doesn't seem like this is designed for people to walk. So I want to find one of the huts, because they have huts at like the 6th and the 7th and the 8th station. If I can stay at one of those huts on my way up, I can drop some of my gear that I don't need, like my clothes, stuff like that. I can drop that stuff there and leave that there and reduce the amount that I have to carry, because I am checking out of this apartment tomorrow morning. So then if I do that, I can hike up and then only have to hike part way down, and then stay at the 7th or the 8th station, and then overnight hopefully get a hot bath, and then hike down the rest of the way in the morning, and then take the bus back to Tokyo. And I think when I go back to Tokyo, I'm going to stay in Roppongi again. I had so much fun in Roppongi. Meeting Chazzy Green, listening to some good jazz at Club T, and then Chazzy took me to Bauhaus, which was that awesome rock club I posted. And Chazzy's the guy killing it, playing the, all those musicians were killing it that night. Don't get me wrong. But Chazzy was the guy playing the saxophone. Pretty cool guy. Showed me around a little bit. Nice to see an American that I can talk to that is into the same things as me. Not that I'm a musician, but I really do enjoy live music, and it's cool. He went from playing jazz to playing rock and roll like there was no hiccup in his step. He was very talented, and he said, well, the thing is, there's only 12 notes and I know them all. So that's what he's telling the other musicians at the club. So very cool guy, and it's nice to meet somebody that is definitely more knowledgeable about Japan than me, but that also spoke English, right? Because, you know, I'm just a tourist, so there's a lot of people that know a lot more than me about Japan. But he could also communicate well with me. He's from Detroit, you know. So definitely felt good to meet somebody like that on my travels. Man, this lake is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm tempted to see if I could walk over that bridge, but they say there's a park on the other side of that bridge. So I think we'll just go to the park and then walk back over and skip walking over the bridge. Because you can see all this volcanic rock exposed here, because, well, Mount Fuji was a volcano, or is a volcano. It's just not an active one. Try to stay out of these girls' pictures here, which I'm not doing a very good job of. Sorry. Beautiful day.
Yes.
So that's kind of my plan right now. And then my plan is to hang out in Roppongi for Saturday, Friday, maybe Saturday night too, we'll see. But I'm thinking I'm gonna head to Saitama, I don't know, yeah, it's like outside Tokyo, but take the train there because Kawaguchiko is playing a festival on Sunday, and they're actually playing kind of early. I think they're playing at 11:30 a.m. and I kind of want to get there early because I've been trying to get one of these Kawaguchiko towels. They always have decorative towels that they sell at the concerts. And I've been to 3 concerts now. Every single one I go to, they're sold out. And so I would like to get my hands on one and buy one. So I do want to get there early. And then if they're playing at 11:30, I mean, I want to get close. So that means I should probably be at that stage by like 9, because it did seem like you know, a lot of people were showing up early for Kawaguchiko and sort of trying to get as close as possible. I got within 75 feet at the Osaka Gigantic Music Festival, so that was cool. But I want to see if I can get closer this time, because earlier in the day at Osaka I was a lot closer, but I had to use the bathroom, and let me take this trail over here. I had to use the bathroom and get something to eat because they didn't come on until like 9 o'clock that night, and at like 3 I was watching a band. They were called, oh man, don't tell me I forgot their name. Ender Cherry. And they were a cool funk band. So I was watching them, but I was only like 15 feet away from them. So I do want to see if I can get that close again and stay that close for my favorite band. We'll see if that works out. If not, and then I will probably leave that concert or a festival earlier than the end, and I guess I should get a hotel room there for the night, and then, or maybe I gotta see what's the best way, but I want to go to Hokkaido, so I might need to go back to Tokyo to get to Hokkaido more efficiently. And we do, some people were said fly to Hokkaido because it's faster, but I don't care if I lose a whole day riding the bullet train, because it'll be cool. You know, riding the train through Nagano was a cool experience because I wouldn't have been able to hike all that, hike through all those mountains. So I got to see a lot in Nagano. It's gorgeous. I really like that area. I really like Nagano Prefecture. And that is where that house was. So still waiting to hear back from 1 or 2 people, their opinions. My one buddy said that it looks like a good house, but him and his wife were saying, how much are you going to use it compared to how much you spent on hotel rooms, you know? So that's some thoughts that sort of give me some hesitation, not because I don't want to own my own property, but because, you know, with property and home ownership comes a lot of responsibility and added and sort of hidden costs, you know. So the house is only $13,000 with taxes and title and fee and all that. But then you know, you gotta get, obviously I'm gonna get internet set there because I would want to set up cameras to monitor the property from home. And then that would also require electricity, right? So those are added expenses. And then the annual taxes, the yearly taxes, would be another added expense. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do that ropeway. That seems cool. So we might just do that right after this walk. There's a hawk up there too. Seems like people are going for boat rides. So yeah, well, I'm gonna think about a lot of that, see if some of it makes sense. You know, my one buddy said, you know, I really liked, he said that, you know, he's talking about all these places he's traveled in the past 5 years. He's like, I like them all, man. So he said, if you buy a house in Japan, then that kind of locks you into travel in Japan for the next, you know, 4 or 5 years in the summer, which I don't know. I think I would like, to be honest. I really do think I'd like it, because this is a very unique and different country. And it's one of the things me and Chazzy were talking about, is that this country is different in ways that are hard to describe. You know, you kind of have to come here to really put your finger on how it's different. And I'm not sure I can describe it in words, right? Which, I got the camera all twisted around up there. Which, I'll be honest, isn't the first time I've had an experience like that, right? When I was a teenager. Man, that's a quiet generator. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
You having a good day, huh?
Have a good day.
Beautiful day. So when I was a teenager, me and my buddy Bobby, we used to love going surfing. People would say, you know, you guys can't be that good being Jersey Shore surfers. It's not like there's huge waves down there, and those are cool boats. That's a cool boat right there on the left. How long it is. So people always say, you know, how much fun could you have if you're sort of, you know, sort of mediocre to amateur surfer, like a beginner, and it's all these small waves. And me and Bobby would just always look at each other and say, they don't get it, man. And it's one of those things that until you feel the power of the ocean under your feet, it's indescribable. There's a connection to the water that you feel that is not easy to put into words in any way, shape, or form. You got to get out there and you really got to do it to know what other people are talking about. And something else I'd always say to those people is, you don't have to be good at something to enjoy it, right? People who write poetry and paint, you don't necessarily have to be Leonardo da Vinci or what's that guy's name? James Joyce, right? You don't have to be this highly accomplished, world-renowned person to enjoy what you do. And that's a pretty good lesson in life all the time, you know? And then with time, you'll get better. If you enjoy it, with time, you'll definitely get better. So there's that. Looks like there's a little temple out here, a little shrine out here on that little mini island. Maybe we'll go check that out. But But yeah, I'll be honest, I was feeling a little bit sad this morning because today is August 4th and I need to go home. I need to get on the plane 5 p.m. August 20th. So as much as I miss home and I am feeling, how to put it, I am feeling that I'm, you know, it's been a long time in my life since I haven't worked for 50 days. So I am feeling a little anxious about that. I'll admit I'm a little obsessed with work, a little bit of a workaholic, a little addicted to work, which is one of the reasons that I was having a tough time this spring, sort of on the path to lose my mind. Who was that to just call? On the path to lose my mind, so I wanted to pull the trigger on this trip, you know? So I gotta call that person back. So we'll start this back up in a second. But that was, you know, my work addiction is one of the reasons that I really felt like it was time for me to take an extended period away from my jobs. Not that, I mean, I love the things that I do. I feel so blessed to be able to be an instructor, the places that I'm an instructor. I love to do, it's just, I feel so, you know, doing the video, working in the machine shop. I love all those things so much. That's why people say, well, why don't you give up one of these things? I say, I can't. I love doing what I do. But even with that, I was just, this winter I was just overburdened. I think I did 33 or 34 65 to 70 hour weeks in pretty close succession. There was a couple weeks there where in the middle, like Christmas time, where I wasn't doing those kind of hours, but still it was daunting, you know? So that was one of the impetuses to take this time off this summer and really get some time to explore Japan. How was I talking about? Why did I bring that up? Oh, because it's been a long time since I've gone this long without working. So I'm not really excited to continue to sort of, I mean, I do like exploring, but at the same time, you know, and Japan is very affordable, but at the same time, you know, things start to add up. Even affordable things start to add up. So just the idea that I haven't worked for 50 some days, I haven't, you know, brought in any extra income, feels a little bit stressful. Not that I'm losing sleep over it, that's for sure. But I think I definitely, I don't know where I was going with this. So I like Japan, but I do think that there's a time to stop spending so much money. Not that I'm spending a ton here, but you know, things got to come to an end eventually. So all right, I'm rambling here, and we're gonna get to this park in a second, and I'll probably bring you guys back when we get out to that little, actually I don't know if I can get out there from there. We'll look, because that would be a cool place to check out the mountain over the lake. But I want to call that person that just called me back. So I'm going to shut this off because I don't really think it's polite to record phone calls. And it's probably not going to be an interesting phone call to y'all.